Hello and welcome to the ISRK Podcast. I'm your host, Kumar Vikrant. I am a doctoral candidate at the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Hanyang University, Seoul, Korea. ISRK, that is Indian Students and Researchers in Korea, is a voluntary support group that works towards the benefit of the Indian diaspora in Korea. On today's episode, I have the pleasure to be in conversation with Dr. Arokiyaraj, and he's a well-renowned scientist here in Korea. Dr. Arokiyaraj, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
So welcome and good afternoon. So
Yes,
before starting the session, I used to thank the ISKR team
yes,
and particularly Kumar Vikrant
mhm,
for giving me this opportunity. So particularly this kind of interaction makes the students, our students, Indian students living in Korea,
mhm.
gives a moral support.
Yeah, that's
Particularly
right.
like uh, most of the students we are from uh, different language, different region, and even we are far away from different kilometers. Like I am from Tamil
Yeah.
Nadu and you are from Delhi, maybe
Uh-huh.
5,000 away, 5,000 kilometers away. So like keep in touch. Like okay, I am here to if
Mhm.
any issues. So it is good. It is a very good thing. So I appreciate the students like this kind of forum or this kind of thing association. It's a very good thing. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, that was our objective as well because the many Indians are here in Korea, but there is no there wasn't a support group or so many people are interested in actually knowing how we live and what kind of atmosphere there is in Korea. So that's why we are trying to have as many conversations as possible with veteran people like you. So, uh, to begin with, can you I think to begin the conversation, it would be best if you can provide a brief background of your research or what do you do exactly so that people have like a broader perspective.
Okay. So uh, introduction. I'm not a very big person. I'm a normal person. So I'm coming from my native place is from Pondicherry.
Ah, okay. Beautiful
Uh,
place. Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful place. So coming from my father is a mechanic, transport bus mechanic.
Hmm.
So coming from a low middle class family,
Yeah.
and also I studied my school, higher secondary school, in public school, government public school,
Mm.
my higher secondary school. Then I did my BSc microbiology and master in biotechnology. So it is a University of Madras.
Ah, okay.
Affiliated college is Loyola College. I think Loyola College, you know. So it's one of the prestigious.
Yeah, actually my high schooling was from Loyola High School. So yeah.
Loyola College in Chennai.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So after finishing my master, I worked for 2 years in MS Swaminathan Research Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there I came to know about how to protect our traditional medicinal plants, the
Mm-hmm.
importance of medicinal plants. uh, So after 2 years, I registered my PhD in Satyabama University.
Mm.
So you can see the changes like
Yeah.
a bachelor degree and master degree I did
Mm-hmm.
in one of the prestigious university like
Yeah.
University of Metro. Then PhD it is a deemed university. So actually I voluntarily I took that thing.
Ah, I
Actually
see.
I got PhD in other even in Madras University I got even other
Mm-hmm.
university also got.
Mm-hmm.
But voluntarily I chose Satyabama University. Uh, It's the main thing. I like to take risk, and also I'm a person not to ride on a running horse.
Ah,
I'm not a
I
person
see.
putting the brand names or institution
Mm-hmm.
names. I don't like. I want to from my childhood. I used to like okay. I need to stand on my own. Like I need to create my own identity like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my PhD in Satyabama University. So why I'm
Okay.
telling means people, many students they have some conflict or they have some confusion. I need to if I do my master course or PhD in branded institute, I can
Mm-hmm.
get job. No, that is not a thing. Okay, that's why I told you I did my higher secondary in public school, government school.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So my my master in one of the top ranking university,
Mm.
Loyola College. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
PhD in a deemed university.
Mhm.
So it's everything is mixing.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. So after my PhD, I worked for 2 years in Anna University Applied Engineering College,
Mm.
Chennai. So while I'm working in Chennai in an engineering college as an assistant professor in the biotechnology department, uh, so for 2 years, from 2011 to 2013, uh, so there I learned many things from the students, and also I received a very good opportunity working atmosphere
Mhm.
India. So that is a very the main positive things, because most of us after PhD they immediately travel abroad.
Yeah, that's
But
right. Yeah.
even I got opportunity after my PhD in 2011 I completed, but I rejected everything.
Mm.
I stayed. I need experience, working culture, and research atmosphere,
If
everything.
I can interject you there, like what made you stay in India and gain more experience? Like as you pointed out, many people just directly shoot away to foreign countries just after PhD.
So main thing is like the main difference between the PhD doing in India in abroad.
Mm-hmm.
In abroad, you can get all the opportunities. I think now you are in Hanyang University or any maybe in Korean University.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the like resources, everything resources you can get.
Yeah, that's right.
But in India, uh, you cannot get every. Even in IITs also, you can't get all the full facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing my PhD, what happened? So some part of the work I do, I used to work in my university.
Yeah.
In some part of work, I used to work in IIT Madras.
Um,
Another part of work I used to do in Tamil Nadu Veterinary College,
mm,
VEPIT. Okay, and on some part of work I used to do in Royal College.
mm-hmm.
So this makes me to make a very good networking.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
and
see.
also I did a lot of interdisciplinary work. So
Mm.
I'm
Very
from
important. Yeah.
microbiology background. In IIT, I learned in GCMS about the GCMS NMR mass spectroscopy techniques.
Mm-hmm.
In Tamil Nadu Veterinary College, I learned about the cell culture,
Mm.
animal cell culture, and also electron microscopic techniques.
Mm-hmm.
In Loyola College, I learned about the phytochemical analysis, compound extractions, then
Mm.
microbiology things. So these are the things.
Ah,
Okay, these make you opportunities. Like this will make you to strong, like, make you stronger, grow
and,
stronger.
yeah, and grow in every
Yeah,
respect.
the difference like uh, uh, the rose grown in a garden and the rose grown in the forest.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that is the difference. So and also when I was working in assistant professor in the engineering college,
Mm-hmm.
so there I used to make some interaction with my students, because most of the Indian students they are brilliant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
okay. So that I was working as a professor, but I don't want to teach them as like a school
Mm.
teacher or like that. So that I came to identify, okay, our students need motivation.
Yes.
They don't need any, what I find, they don't need any lectures or anything. They need some good motivator. We need to guide them, because I am 80 born, 1980, but the
Mm.
present generation kids, 90, 90s, 2000 kids, 2K
Yes.
kids, they are all technology, technology.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, the only thing we need to guide them, and we need to uh, like a proper channel.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, okay, our students are very smart. So what I found, so most of my students, they are doing many projects,
Mm.
final year projects, but all the final year projects, just they're making for a degree.
Ah, yes. Most of them.
So
Yeah.
most of them. So what I did, okay, it is not a good idea. So I motivated them to register for patent.
Mm.
One. And second thing, I encourage them to do publication.
Mm.
Okay, publication in a very good reputed journal like
Yes.
Elsevier
Mm-hmm.
and SCA indexed journal or Scopus indexed journal.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I motivate them to present their research papers
Mm.
in international conference and even travel abroad
Mm.
for attending the international conference, and also to present their findings.
Yeah. That would
Okay,
give them a very good exposure. Yeah.
so what is the outcome means, at undergraduate level, most of my students, they published
Hmm.
their scientific research paper in Elsevier with high impact factors.
Wow, that's big achievement.
And next, because of their publication, they got master degree opportunities in abroad with stipend.
Hmm. Okay,
Okay.
so you are presently you work in Korea. So what position are you in, and what kind of research you're doing in Korea at present?
So at present, so actually, I came here in 2013
Mm-hmm.
in Korea. So my first university is in Seoul National University.
Ah, okay. Quite
So since
reputed one.
I had microbiology and phytochemical compounds, so I worked on rumen methane mitigation.
Ah, okay.
So usually the global warming, so most of us we know global warming is climate change. This climate change, the major reason is pollution, like vehicle pollution or industrial pollution.
Yes.
That is the majority of the people we know. But apart from vehicle and industrial pollution,
Mm.
the major pollution is caused of the animal animal industry.
Ah,
Uh,
I see.
in India, so India we have a larger number of population of cattle,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
cow. So once if you feed the cow used to take the material, the feed
Yeah.
material.
Mm-hmm.
As the fermentation process,
Mm.
uh, the cow produce the methane.
Methane, yeah. I think
So
methane is like 10 times more potent than CO2,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
so that compared to the other pollution,
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
okay. And the methane, the main thing, the methane released from the animal
Mm-hmm.
thing, not only it causes the climate change, and it also affects the animal feed efficiency. So the animal will not take
Oh,
the.
okay, I see. Mm.
So what we did, we usually to reduce the methane release in the animal, they used to add some antibiotics.
Ah, mm.
Okay, but most of the European countries they don't prefer recommend the use of antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
So because I think most of us are scientific background, we know that it causes side effect because if you give the antibiotics to the animals,
Mm.
so the product like milk or meat will be intake by the human.
Yeah, because it may not be completely degraded by the organism, right? It may get accumulated.
So yeah, Korea they used to make some alternative like the use of medicinal plants to
Mm.
mitigate the methane.
Ah,
So
okay.
I worked on that project. So I studied what are the medicinal plants that can reduce the methane level
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the thermal cattle. So we identified. And also we used to study the by use of 16S RNA sequencing. What are the microbes,
Mm.
like particularly the methogens. So what are the methogenic bacteria plays important role in increasing the methane. And what are the plant products? Uh, after giving the plant material, what
Mm.
are the microbial changes happen? So that is one project. So apart from that, and also I work in National Cancer Center. It's a government institute
Okay.
in East.
Mm-hmm.
So there I came to study about the uh, uh, cervical cancer, the
Mm.
microbial changes in cervical cancer. So particularly human papillomavirus. So if the woman is infected with human papillomavirus,
Mm-hmm.
so there are several stages: stage one, stage
Okay.
two, three. So like usually if the woman affected with the human papillomavirus,
Mm-hmm.
so immediately she or she they don't get she don't get the cervical cancer immediately.
Uh-huh.
It, it takes some 3 to 4 years.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. Mm.
So within this duration,
Mm.
like the human papillomavirus infections,
Mm.
it can for within 1 or 2 years, it can clear automatically.
Ah.
If you follow very good nutrition,
Mm.
good habits, and treatment, so it clear automatically.
Mm.
In some patients, that human papillomavirus it persists, continuously stay for 3 4 years. So once it continues, it will be persistent for 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It the final stage is cancer.
Mm.
So what we studied, okay, what is the reason for this kind of, what are the microbes involved in this kind of clearance, persistence, and persist negative
Mm-hmm.
human papillomavirus negative.
So your
So,
research is like directly involved with the human health conditions and the overall environmental aspect as well.
but particularly it's government data, Korean government data. If
Ah,
the result was,
mhm,
if you have very good food habits, like if you take continuing amount of
mhm,
probiotics, even if you have human papillomavirus infection,
mm,
so their virus level has been cleared automatically. Because if you take the probiotic like yogurt,
mm.
kimchi, or those kind of food habits, so it increases the good bacteria population, like lactic acid
Ah,
bacteria. Now, those lactic acid bacteria, it inhibit the pathogenic.
mhm.
So that
Oh,
is the finding.
sounds
And
quite
another
fascinating.
findings,
Yeah.
recently another findings regarding to my phytochemical analysis,
Mhm,
due to this COVID infection, we identified two plants. So
mm.
one plant in Korean medicine plants, it has the ability to inhibit the coronavirus. And
Yeah.
also, we also found another Indian herbal
Mm.
can inhibit the COVID.
Yeah,
So these are my,
that was my next question as well. As you are like closely associated with microbiological research and associated research areas, so what are your views on the ongoing pandemic situation in India? We are seeing like record-breaking cases every day, and as you have experience here in Korea as well, so can you shed some light on the present situation?
actually I feel sad to say about our Indian condition.
Yeah,
Okay, so it is purely I don't want it is politics, but we need to speak some politics because
yeah, that's right. Mm,
the thing is, so last year when it was in pandemic condition,
mhm.
South Korea, next to China, South Korea is the first country to be affected with COVID condition,
Yeah, I
with corona.
remember. Yeah.
Okay. So usually every year I used to travel India.
Mm,
Every year I never miss. Every 6 months once or yearly twice I can.
mhm,
But last year when there is a pandemic like condition,
mm.
when Korea was highly affected,
Yes.
my parents they called me. My relatives they called me. Come on, because uh, here the first case in March 2020 the case
Yeah,
is severe.
in March. Yeah.
Okay. That time in Indian news channel, they projected like in South Korea, many people was affected, and some newspaper also in Tamil Nadu, they made some they changed the cases like instead of 4,000 cases,
Mm.
they printed 4,000 people died because of
Ah,
COVID.
yeah.
So by seeing that news channels, my
Mm,
relatives they're all afraid. They
mm,
just they call us, come on, come on. Then I told I'm watching continuously the South
mhm,
Korea thing. So they are doing a very good management.
mhm.
So I studied and it was surprised. I was highly surprised because the main success of South Korea means
Mm.
they made the 3T technology. The first thing testing,
Okay. Mm,
a mass range of testing,
mm,
and second uh, tracing, the tracing the contact,
mm.
and third treating the patients.
Yeah, that's right.
So, in case of viral disease, kind of viral infections,
Mm,
particularly last year, what happened in no one, they don't have the proper viral sequence, they don't know
mm,
clear what type of virus. Now we know that it is a SARS
yeah.
coronavirus
Mhm.
infection, and also we know the what type of mutants everything.
Yes.
But during last year, no one knows.
Mm,
But what I think I learned from the South Korea,
mhm,
the science and politics they played a very good role.
mm.
Okay, note this point: science and politics. Why
Yeah,
I'm mentioning
together.
science?
Mm,
Yeah, why I'm mentioning science and politics means they join together. Why means in January the case was the first case here reported. Actually, in 2019 December the first case reported in China. In Korea, 2000 January they identified the first case.
yeah.
In January to February, what they did, most of the biotech companies in South Korea,
Mhm,
they by identifying the viral sequence,
mm.
they produced or they developed their own RT-PCR kit.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so that is the main thing. Since they have the RT, most I think I studied some Biogen and
Mm,
some 3 4 companies they developed the RT-PCR kit.
okay. Mm,
So because of the RT-PCR kit,
mhm,
they did mass sampling.
mm. I
Okay,
see.
so they developed the RT-PCR kit. Then they delivered the RT-PCR kit to the politicians, and the politicians they got the approval, and immediately they get it for testing. So that same time, what even in America and even in European countries,
Yes.
they failed to do that. So
Mm,
that is the reason. So since they have their own kit, they screen large number of samples.
mm,
Okay. So and also they made a innovative method like phone mobile booth testing, phone booth testing, and
mm,
test car driving testing.
yeah.
So these things, it gives a moral support for the patients.
Mm,
The most killer in corona is not the coronavirus; it is a fear.